In this video, we're going to put together all the controls for our UI, for our medical calculation app. Now, if you see the emulator I already have here on the screen, you'll see that I already have all of the widgets over there, and I'm going to review each of them with you. So the first thing that you're going to need is a text, and you are going to edit it. And if you look over here on the far right, underneath my component tree, you're going to see all of the different widgets that are going to be added to the UI, and it will also show you what it is hooked up to. So remember, when we drag over the widget, we can double click on it, give it an ID, and then we can click on the ... to go out to our resource file and find the string that needs to be linked up with the actual control itself. So I want to show you that. Something also that I did is I changed the text size property on this title to be 30. And then something else that I did was I also went in and I changed the text color. So right here underneath text color, and if you look at the video about the actual module itself, we talk about Android apps using hexadecimal color codes. So this is using the number sign or pound sign way before the days of the hashtag. Okay, so we people who programmed back in the 80s and 90s had the hashtag way before you kids, but that's okay. So pound sign FF0000 is read in the hexadecimal pattern scheme. And again, there's information in the regular lecture module to get more information about colors and all that cool stuff. Alright, so there's my text size. I changed my color. And then a couple new properties that we introduce here in this particular module. The first one I'll show you is underneath this gravity. If you expand the gravity folder, you're going to see these checkboxes. And these work similar to the way Microsoft Word works, meaning that I can check center horizontal right here and have my text be centered horizontally. Alright, and you just saw a message flash across my screen about Adventure Potato playing some game, so evidently my son is playing a video game, and my other son has been logged on to my computer and is probably still logged on doing who knows what. But anyway, just disregard that. Also, another new property is layout margin, and you can expand that out, and then you will see at the top I can give it a number here. So the top property I'm setting to 15 dp, and what this is going to do is it's going to place 15 pixels of space above the last control. So for each of these actual widgets I put on here, I will put a layout margin of top so that it will position itself just below the next one. This way we don't have to eyeball and think we make things look aligned and all spaced out. Our OCD could never handle if it wasn't exact. So I like to use the properties to actually do that. So that's a couple new things as far as this module goes. The next thing we're going to be bringing over then is the weight of patient. Now this is going to be another text field, and so you'll see here I've named it txt weight, and it goes to hook up with the hint property that we put in our strings file, and that is where the end user will actually enter in the actual weight of the patient itself. So here I changed the text size property to be 25, and I used that layout property, this time the top, to be 15 pixels there, and hooked that text field up. The next thing here is the actual handling of the radio buttons themselves. So in order to get those on, what you have to do is go down to the containers folder within the palette and move over the radio group. Then what you're going to do is find the radio buttons, and you will click and drag 2 radio buttons over to the control area. And if I can keep this from texting back and forth, when I click inside the actual radio control itself, I can change the orientation here. So vertical, horizontal, that's how you change that. Then, as I showed you, you can drag over the individual radio buttons and they act just like any other field or widget. So here I've given it the name that I want to use and then hook that up with the actual resource that's within my strings file. Layout margin here, I'm controlling both the left and the top. So the left is 10 dp and the top is 15 dp to get that to work. The size I put, what did I do the size on this one? The size, text size is 20 dp for that. And then you'll go through and you'll do the exact same thing to the other radio button. So our application is going to allow the end user to select which way they're going, pounds to kilograms or kilograms to pounds. All right, the last thing we're going to hook up is the actual button that we need, and this will be with the end user. This will be our event, and I've hooked that up to the string button convert, and then that gets us the actual button there and the text convert weight, and I've put that to be 25, and then again I use that layout margin 15 dp again to make sure everything's all lined up and good to go that way. So at this point now I have all of my XML code. I have everything in there for my emulator, and it shows me where I've got some red in here, so that's kind of cool. We can change the colors up. So I think our app is looking pretty good. The next lecture video, what we will do is we will start our coding. We have to now wire up all of the widgets and put the code behind the radio button control and the button. And that is where we will have our conditionals based on which button has been selected and do our calculation accordingly. So be sure to check out the next video to finish up the app.